What you say your name was? I don't think I know you. What you say your name was? I don't think I know you. Someone smell the doorbell. I don't think you want to. Someone smell the doorbell. I don't think you want to. What you say your name was? I don't think I know you. What you say your name was? I don't think I know you. Someone smell the doorbell. I don't think you want to. Someone smell the doorbell. I don't think you want to.
Alright guys, today we're going to do a very special mini haul. A mini haul. It's so mini, you'll go, ha. So today we're going to show you two pickups that I got through the eBay. No updating my Modern 13 figures because Marauders is closed right now. So today we have, boom, Shipwreck. And Shipwreck. So, you're probably thinking, Trim Films, why do you have two Shipwrecks? Well, I really wanted for this accessory alone, the life jacket, because I'm gonna customize the, I want this for these guys, for my G.I. Joe boat. I'm going to paint this Cobra symbol over and that Cobra symbol over to make it look like my other one, which is right here. So then I was like, yeah, well, I need the place where I bought the life jackets at, that third-party website. Well, he's closed right now, and I don't know when he's going to open, and on his listing of stuff, he doesn't even have a life jacket. So these Shipwrecks go for pretty cheap, not expensive, But I definitely wanted to talk about this Shipwreck here, because I noticed some weird things about him. Let's look at his hand. The first one I got in the mail had open hand and brown gloves, and the other one had closed hands. And there's quite a big difference. So I looked on Yojo.com, and this is the way they have him listed. So I don't know if someone customized this, then I got him, So I don't know. But I really don't like this uniform. Being an ex-sailor myself, this outfit is more what they wore in the 70s. A salt and pepper type uniform, they called it. And the blue hats, that dates back to the blue Dixie cups, which we call it. That dates back to World War II. So for a modern figure to have a blue Dixie cup and a 70s outfit and brown boots, we all have black boots. I think brown shoes were aviators, if I remember right, when I was in. So, it's cool to have maybe these guys in the background. Maybe like working on this. Hey, get off there so I can work on it. But I just really wanted it for the life jacket. In the military, we had green. In the Navy, we had green life jackets. I saw some orange ones, but no one ever wore them. They were in the locker, the storage locker, the boatswain locker, we call it. So we had green ones similar to this. So I will just paint this one. And granted, I don't have any extra blue guys for this, but these guys, the Marines work with the Navy, so I'm pretending these Shipwreck / Duke mashups are Marines. ODC said on one of the comments, he said I should name this girl Trident. That's a perfect name, so that's her official code name, Trident. So I need to start cracking the paint this one to look like this one. Alright, so Shipwreck came with a stand. I have one open, alright. A hook. This is kind of cool. And then of course, Polly. As strangely as I'm a stickler on for accuracy, I don't mind Polly. Because in the military, I had a pet bird for about a week. A hurt owl came on board, and I had to take care of that owl when I was in the Navy. So I felt like I was shipwrecked there for a while. So, poly doesn't bother me at all. Let's do a size comparison here. The only vintage G.I. Joe I have is Shipwreck. I got this from MJK Toys. And, see, I think the Shipwreck would look 100 times better. I can live with the white and black outfit. I cannot live with the blue Dixie Cup hat. His head is so small. This modern one. He came in a 2-pack. I can't remember who the other guy was, but I had this one as a... This is not this one in particular, but I had Shipwreck as a kid. And, for a while, we did not know what rank Chief Petty Officer was. And then my uncle, who was in the Navy, eventually told us, when he came up here to visit us one day, that would be at E7. But Shipwreck is in the wrong uniform for E7. This is for E6 and below uniforms. And when I was in the Navy, back in the early 90s, mid-90s, we wore a blue outfit like this. So I wore something, we never wore a holster right here, but... And our rank was more over here, but, you know, this is a toy. And this Shipwreck suffers from side wiener. Look at that. He has a side wiener. So, thank you, MJK Toys, for giving me this. This is like in perfect condition. It's like it's barely ever been played with. So, the file card for Shipwreck. Here is the original one. Hector Delgado. I can't pronounce that. And then Gunner's Mate. But in the military, we didn't really have, like in the Army, we didn't really have a secondary military specialties. Because I was in deck division, but I didn't have a second one. Because that's what you just everybody were supposed to know everyone's job on the boat. So that your second one was everybody else's job. You know, you're supposed to cross train. And that first boat, not so much. The second one, they definitely really enforced that. I did some engineering work. Even though I was a signalman, I did a lot of engineering watches when we were in port. I was supposed to do security. A whole different story. He's from Chula Vista, California. E7. Shipwreck grew up in the shadows of the U.S. Navy. And it talks about here, San Diego. He enlisted as the youngest age possible with his parents' permission. So that means he probably joined around 16, 17 after he finished high school. And it's funny because then it talks about some Mekong Delta hand-to-hand combat fighting with the river pirates, smugglers. That is definitely Vietnam area. Then it talks about here, he put time in Gitmo, which is Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, which I never got to go to. Back in the day, your ship would pull in and you would test at Gitmo, and you would test and test and test whatever, like the ship was under battle simulations until your ship done it right, and it was just ongoing, and until your ship finally passed. It could take 2-3 days, up constantly in battle conditions in pier by the pier. Thank God we never had to do that. I've heard older sailors tell me about that. Yokosuka, I've been there. And then it talks about some Middle East stuff here, which in the 80s when this came out, that was before the Persian Gulf, but there was an incident with USS Stark, I think, that hit a mine and split the ship in half, and those sailors were able to save the ship because everyone's supposed to know everything. Then it talks about what was qualified on, let's see, M16. I never got to shot. I've carried an M14, and blah, 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 blah. Quintessential sailor. Eggs, blah, blah, blah. You can eat the Navy food. But then it says, take 3 days of liberty in Tula, Greenland, and come back smiling. I don't know if there's really a Navy port in Greenland, but come back smiling, that means he's either with prostitutes or he was drinking heavily for 3 days. So I'm going to go with drinking heavily. I don't know. This is a kid's toy. It's strange though. You would think on the modern cards, they would take out this 60 stuff here, Mekong Delta. But it takes out Gitmo. I don't see Gitmo on here. It talks about him going to gunnery school, so it's a little bit different. And it talks about him going with prostitutes. So, Alright, so I got another segment. Will he float? Okay, a lot of the other G.I. Joe reviews, when it comes to the Navy guys, they always do will it float test. He has a life jacket on. Let's see if Shipwreck will float. Will he float? That is a no. Alright, since we're here, let's see if this, I know this water thing can float, or water monster can. If you go all vintage, I know that will float. And mine don't. It's sideways floating there. Well, maybe because this guy is not centered. Oops. Centered right. It somewhat floats. Let's take the guys off. Nope. It's sinking. Alright, let's try the other one. Will it float? Yeah, a little bit. That one floats up. Titanic! Titanic, it's sinking. Nope, it doesn't float. Alright, let's see if Polly floats. And that's a no. Straight down. Alright, just to be funny, does the window float? Yes. Yes, it does. And does this router float? Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Well, okay. Yes, it does. Nope, no, it don't. And does cheese float? No. No, it doesn't.
I like cheese.